everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in this AFK journey video, we're going to talk about why Bonnie could potentially be the best A-level character and should be the best A-level character based on her design as well as her utility in the game itself. So far I've tested Bonnie across multiple different game modes and I'll talk about all the different observations that I have, right? For a more in-depth review, I will take a few more days to test her out across all the different Dream Realm bosses before giving my final conclusion. But so far, on the PvE side, she's really strong because there's a lot of good teams that you can slot her in, and she's not just a good damage dealer. So this is a damage distribution for the team featuring Iron as well as Arden right here. So you can see her dealing so much more damage in this team, and on top of that, she also has a really good AoE debuff should this decays reach actually spread to more enemies itself. So I'll showcase it in this battle, and this battle in particular has 4 enemies with the Phantom armor right here. So they are already taking way less damage, but Bonnie over here just does so much as well as debuff the opponent so much that she carries the team with regards to her damage output itself. So let's showcase the replay right here. So at the start of battle, because of Phantom armor, Bonnie will actually use the decaying effect on Mikola, as you guys can see. So Mikola is the one with the haste down. So one thing which I haven't really spoke a lot about is Bonnie's prioritizing mechanic. So she will prioritize the unit with the decay ability. So in the event, if you want to focus fire down certain units, you can definitely position our Bonnie and use her as assassin archer, because she will decay the unit you want to target and then prioritize attacking that enemy itself. And then that's where, after she kills off Mikola, the decay effect actually spreads to all the other enemies and you can see a massive attack down on the other enemies. So right now we are in the season mode, so I have the Inside Charm, and the attack debuff right now is 55% attack down with the haste down itself. So right here, both my carries eventually died, but it took a longer while for them to die off because of the attack down. And even if Bonnie is dead, the decay effect from her skill is still doing damage to 2 of the enemies on the battlefield, and that's why she is able to be the highest damage dealer in the team. So this is obviously your usual Iron Armors combo for the massive magical damage at the start of battle to get maximum stack on the decay, and then with all these good debuffs, heals as well as control from the team itself, Bonnie is able to output damage safely. Okay, so we're gonna go at 2 times and finish up the battle. So even with Bonnie dying way earlier than Iron, she delivered so much more damage. So the damage obviously came from the second skill as well as the first skill, as mentioned in her previous PvP video, which I'll link on top. So this is one battle. I also tried her out with other magical teams, for example this one right here. So let me find this team over here. So this is a pretty standard Mauler team, but instead of using OD, I actually use Bonnie together with Smokey. So Smokey is well known to be one of the strongest damage dealer in the AFK stage pushing side because of the AoE coverage as well as the HP percentage damage burn. So let's take a look at this replay and see what Bonnie does for the team. So we have Reina, magical attacker. We have Bonnie, magical attacker. We also have Smokey, who is also a magical attacker. So in this case, I think because the other magical attackers, they are not focusing on Carolina, we didn't actually get the maximum stat coming out from the decay effect itself. But eventually the decay effect actually managed to spread to the other targets, which led to the haste down on one of the units. I can't remember who is it, but there's a unit with haste down right in front, okay, together with Carolina. So the only unit that's able to apply a haste down with Bonnie over here. So Bonnie's quite good in a team fight setting because number 1, of her AoE damage, number 2, because of her potential to decay multiple units for the haste down as well as attack down, and more importantly, she is able to keep herself safe in most auto settings because of the third skill itself. So that makes her really good here, and this is with Smokey using the ultimate over here, as you guys can see. So Smokey usually does the most damage in the AFK stage pushing side, but not in this match because Bonnie did way more than him. Okay, so we are left with Igor. We're going to end the battle right here. So as we are fighting the Igor, you can see this poison ticking down the Igor as well as Lucius in battle just now. So that's the decay effect in action. It's actually really powerful based on my observation so far. So in the previous team, I was using the Iron Elsa combo, as you guys can see. And over here, Bonnie did more damage than Elsa. So it's quite impressive, okay? And then we have another team showcase. I think this time around with a Lily May in the team. Over here, this is one with Lily May in the team. So I'm not going to showcase the battle. It's Viperion together with Lily May as well as Bonnie to prop Bonnie's decaying effect as fast as possible and then do damage from there. So all these PvE replays are just me telling you guys that she's an amazing AoE damage dealer. If you're able to keep her alive, for her to not only number one do more damage on her own, but also buff up the whole team's magical damage output from her Supreme Plus skill. So you need the Supreme Plus skill for this ability over here. So once you reach the maximum stack on the enemy, you increase their magical damage taken by 10% and an extra 20% increase taken from ultimate. It's a lot of damage. This is a 30% damage increase from ultimate itself, which is really powerful. And that's why I'll say Bonnie right now really looking to be one of the best A level this season. So other than the PvE stage side, we also have the Dream Realm side. So I did a few runs yesterday as well as today. So Bonnie is by no means a really powerful, I'll say like Dream Realm character, but let's take a comparison between, for example, my best team with Lily May right here, right, 21 build versus Bonnie right here. So Bonnie did way less damage, okay, but if you take a look at the damage numbers from the other units, they did have a slight increase as compared to this team, because right here they are not buffed up by Bonnie's Supreme Plus skill. So this team has a little bit more buffs from Bonnie's Supreme Plus skill for them to do a little bit more damage. So there could be a possibility that instead of just using Bonnie as the damage dealer, we can, or we might be able to use Bonnie as a debuffer in the future. So I don't think it's super viable in a Dream Realm side because Bonnie's kit is pretty AoE centric, and I think for the decay part, one thing which I realized with regards to bossing is that the boss doesn't actually get the haste down. So I think it's probably some sort of control immunity against haste down, but we are able to reduce the attack of the boss right here. So we're just going to run it at 3 times. And if you take a look at debuffs on the boss over here, there's no haste down throughout the whole battle. So even if there's a decayed effect which deals damage over time, there's just not enough, I'll say like haste down on the boss to slow down the skill usage of the boss over here. Okay, so whole battle, no haste down. So I don't know whether or not it's an intended interaction, but I'm assuming it probably has something to do with the Dream Realm boss mechanics itself. But nonetheless, I think just having Bonnie in the team, having that decay effect with the Supreme Plus skill damage stack could actually be viable should you not have other massive DPS powerhouse built up right now. So she could be an intermediate use carry unit for those of you guys who just started the game. So that's one opinion. If you have the resources, you're going to spend a little bit to go for some gacha pulls to max her out for a design, I think she could serve some use for those of you guys in this category that I explained. Okay, so this is with regards to the Dream Realm side. I don't think she's that good because yesterday I also tried her out, but I think she's not spectacular damage wise, so she can't really fill out Lily May's slot. And debuffer wise, I think they're just like way better single target debuffer. And more importantly is also the faction side, because for the faction side right now, Graveborn doesn't actually have the best combination of units to use, except for maybe Ludovic. Yeah, actually Ludovic is really strong with Bonnie, but right now I don't have Ludovic built up, so I have to wait until the global release to test her out with Ludovic itself. But in yesterday's run, yeah, I also tried her out with Snowstomper right here. So this is with Bonnie, okay, and then this is without Bonnie. Okay, we did more, but right here you can see that most of the damage or the damage difference actually came down between Lily May as well as Bonnie, while the other units in the team like Sonia, Smokey as well as Reina and even Mikola, they did more damage. So in terms of what Bonnie can do, there is definitely this debuff potential, but I don't think she's gonna be a good Dream Realm character, at least not on the meta level. But let's say if you don't have all the other meta good units built up, you can definitely use her as an intermediate carry as well as a debuffer for your magical teams first if you're somebody who's really new to the game. So that's for the Dream Realm side. And lastly, for the PvP side, I have already released a video about her, so I'm not gonna go into the deep dive part, but yeah, she does a lot of damage. Even in matches which I lost, she's also one of the top damage dealers, and in matches where I won, she's just straight up busting the opponent's nuts with her AoE damage itself. So just really good all around, probably if not one of the best A level characters so far, at least based on initial observation. So that's it for this video. Just some comments, observations before you commit into Bonnie to get her to Supreme Plus. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like, subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.